Welcome to Making with Molly. In honor of Star Wars Day that was on May the 4th, we are making pretzel lightsabers. Growing up, I loved Star Wars, and when I found that I could make my very own lightsaber at Disney World, I knew that I had to do that. So in 2009, when our family took a trip to Disney World, we had it all planned out that we were going to build our own lightsabers. And the cast member that helped us, oh, she was so nice. She walked us through step by step on which pieces we could choose, and wow, it was amazing. I wanted to be just like her when I grew up. Well, little did I know that when I started my college program and worked at Disney Springs, that one of my stores was a Star Wars store, and there they had a table where you could build your own lightsaber. And to pick up that position, you were Jedi Knight or Jedi Master or the Saber Guard, and you could help people build their own lightsabers. And to me, when I first got there, I'm like, wow, what a full circle. Well, let me tell you, it was definitely not as glamorous as I thought. The table there would constantly be a mess. There would be pieces in the wrong little sections, and anybody could just come up to it and start building, which was great, but they would often leave full lightsabers intact and all over the place. So if you were in charge of the saber table, you got to clean all that up. I did have a few nice kids that I loved to help walk through, and it was great. I got their pictures, or I got pictures with them. I'm not creepy like that. Anyway, I got pictures with them, and it was so sweet. I'm like, wow, this is just like all those years ago. I did, however, have some very interesting interactions with those kids. There was one kid in particular that I walked through the saber table step by step, and he built his own lightsaber, and he was so happy. I'm like, wow, this is great. He immediately takes the lightsaber and starts whacking me. Now, this kid was only about maybe 3 or 4, but he was packing some punches, and I'm in shock. I'm like, what? His parents are like, oh no, I'm so sorry. Well, while this kid is like running around, whacking everything, and runs out of the store, his parents bring him back. They're like, oh, I'm so sorry. And this kid is distraught. He does not want to part with his lightsaber. He does not want to leave the store. And so his parents, drag him out as he's putting up a fight. I thought that this was all done, so I took apart his lightsaber and put all the pieces back. Maybe 2 minutes later, this kid comes running back into the store by himself and picks up the closest lightsaber he can find and just starts whacking everybody and everything. Like, guests, cast members, it did not matter to him. And so maybe 30 seconds later, his parents come running back into the store, and this kid does not want to leave. He's determined not to leave, so he grabs onto the lightsaber table, and his parents are like tugging at him by his feet. So he's in like a full-on Superman position where he's held onto the saber table, and his parents are tugging at his feet. And at this point, everybody is just staring like, we don't know what's going on. And so somehow his parents pry his hands off of the table and drag him out by his feet as he's just wailing. And like, oh, I think that was the most interesting kid experience I ever had to deal with. But it just goes to show me that Jedis have to put up with a lot more than I ever thought they would. Now I get to teach you all how to make a lightsaber. They are edible, but the principle is still there. This treat is super simple and easy to make. All you'll need are pretzel rods, assorted colors of melting chocolate or white chocolate, and some food coloring. That's basically all you need. You can also get fancy and do colored sprinkles with the color blade you want, or you could use some mini M&Ms for some of the ignition buttons. Really, whatever you want. But that being said, let's get to it. To start things off, we are going to be dipping the hilt of the lightsaber first. Now the hilt of the lightsaber is the handle, so we're going to only want to dip about this much in. You are going to want to melt some gray melting candies or use white chocolate and then dye it gray. All right, time to dip. Once dipped, make sure to shake off the excess chocolate so that there won't be a big ring of chocolate around the pretzel when we put it down. All right, once your hilts have cooled, it is now time to decide on what colored blades you would like. If you have some colored candy melts, then you can go ahead and melt that. I'm melting some more white chocolate, and I think I'm gonna do 2 colored blades today. I'm going to do a red and a blue, classic. For the red, I'm just going to dip in the white chocolate, then sprinkle with some red sugar sprinkles. But for the blue, I'm gonna go put some blue food coloring in it and dip it from there. I'm going to pour my white chocolate into this tall mug so that I can dip it in really easily. Covers it all, and that way when I take it out, the blade is nice and smooth. When I lay it back down, I am going to lay it a bit on the angle, even though I've shaken off a lot of chocolate, so hopefully it won't kind of pool up around where the pretzel hits the parchment paper. It will still have a nice smooth blade all around. I'm going to do my red lightsabers first. So I'm taking a little bit here, parchment paper. I'm leaning it up on one side. And then shake. So I'm going up and down first and then side to side. Up and down brings all the chocolate down to the tip, and then side to side shakes it off. Okay, and I'm going to sprinkle it right away. And here we have it. It looks like a big flaming hot Cheeto. You want to make sure that you shake off a lot of your chocolate, otherwise it will kind of create some waves like this. I didn't do a good job of shaking off the chocolate. But that's okay, because we have many more. Alright, now that I'm done with the red, I'm going to move on to the blue lightsabers. Just melted some more white chocolate, put some blue food coloring in it. Gonna pop it back in my mug and do the exact same thing. Side note, this looks like the blue milk from the most famously Cantina. And I bet it would taste really good too. Once your chocolate has cooled, it is now time to decorate. I'm just melting some dark chocolate. You could melt some black candy melts or dye some white chocolate black for the details, really whatever you want. And then I'm gonna put it in a plastic bag with the corners snipped off. Just pipe it on whatever design I like. I also have some mini M&Ms that I might use for ignition buttons. Really, whatever you want to do, you get to be creative. You can look up your favorite Jedi or Sith's lightsaber design and then try to copy that as well. It's completely up to you. is how they turned out. These are super fun to make, and they are actually assembled just like how you would make a real lightsaber. So the hilt first, then the blade, and then the decorations, which I thought was pretty cool. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed. Definitely try these out, but until next time, happy making!